Good evening, ma'am.
I agree.
Good evening. There's a little disturbance from our side, I think, of the voice. Now it is okay.
Now it's
So,
okay?
yeah. Shall we start now?
Yeah, please. How are you?
I'm all good. I hope you are fine. So, very good evening and a very warm welcome to all of you. And we are delighted to have you with us for this insightful webinar on CBSE Kaushal Vikas. We are grateful to have Dr. Sudha Malani ma'am with us today to mentor and inspire us through this session. Ma'am is currently serving as a principal at RMK Senior Secondary School, Chennai, and ma'am is the vice chairperson, Chennai Sahodaya School Complex. Ma'am is a CCE implementation mentor, member inspection committee for affiliation of CBSE schools and Safal Center superintendent. Ma'am's portfolio also includes being a Chennai city coordinator for CBSE and Chennai city coordinator for NTA, a committee member for CBSE counseling examinations.
Your voice
Man
gone.
is also appointed as a subject expert by CBSE. Uh, Back in team, can you just tell me if my voice is coming?
It is audible, ma'am. It went in the middle for a few seconds. Now it is audible.
It is okay. Thank you so much. And Sudha ma'am holds an impressive portfolio of awards and honors celebrating ma'am's achievements in education. So we are truly grateful to you, ma'am, for taking out this valuable time to be with us today. Now I respectfully invite you to take over the platform and begin the session. So over to you, ma'am. Am I audible now?
Yes, you're audible. In between it was going, now it's audible.
Yeah. So you can start the session.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Is it audible? I'm audible. Okay, is my
Yes, you
PPT
are.
is visible to all of you? Okay.
Yes, you
Good
are.
evening, everyone. Thank you so much for the introduction, and thank you all for joining the session. As teachers or managements or administrators, it is important to get update whatever is happening in an education field, especially whether it is CBSE or a nationwide, whatever it is. As teachers or the school management or the principals, we should know what are the changes coming in educational systems. Knowing that, I take this opportunity to thank pedagogical community because they are the one updating all the, other than the state and national governments, these are all the private bodies where they're coming forward to educate the teachers. Okay, first of all, thank you all for joining the session. I would like to thank you also because you are interested in your career. Okay, why I'm stating career is when we are taking teaching as a profession, we are all knowing that I know the subject, so I don't need to learn something new. That's what most of the time we think. I know the subjects, but beyond the subject, as I told you, what are all the changes happening in the CBSE to getting updated, to get to know what are the changes. For that, you are joining this kind of a sessions. Okay, today we are going to see about Kushal Vikas. Okay, we all know about National Education Policy 2020, which brought in a lot of changes in the educational system. Okay, first the structure. I just want to recall it. First, the structure, you know that from kindergarten to 10, 12 standard, 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Then they brought in a kindergarten, the playway method and other things. Later, if you see, that is FLN, that foundational literacy and numeracy. That is in the foundational stages, literacy and numeracy is very important because the children should learn to read, communicate, and do the basic operations properly. That was given importance. Then comes the higher class. If you taken 6th standard onwards, the national education policy insists on the bagless days. 10 bagless days has been introduced so that the children go visit the different industries to get a knowledge and develop the skill. And also they have introduced Kushal Bodh. I had a 3-day session on Kushal Bodh in class 6, class 7 and class 8. What are all the changes they have brought in, how they felt that the skill is important for today's children. As we aware that today we talk about more about the artificial intelligence. The world is changing. The technology is growing very fast. When the more the technology is growing, our lifestyle has become very, very easier. Earlier, for example, if I tell you to write a letter, okay, you maybe have to take a paper or a laptop, maybe you have a laptop, you have to type it. Now within a second, okay, if you go to your WhatsApp in the Meta, if you ask me, give a date and tell me, write a letter and give it to me in a fraction of a second, you will get that letter. Yes or no? Do you agree? Right? We all get it. Right? If I want a recipe for cooking something, if I go and ask Meta, it will give. Of any of the AIs today, maybe even as a teacher context, today you're going, you didn't prepare something, you just go ask, I just want a lesson plan for this. I want a PPT for this. I want a video for this. If in a fraction of a second, it creates and give it to us. Okay. Do you think the teacher life has become more easier now? Because of artificial intelligence has come, it can replace the teacher, no need of a teacher. Will you say that? What is the more relevant we feel, even though the artificial intelligence is there, it is also a kind of a blackboard. It is a tool, okay, which help me to do something better. Okay, the time is, I mean, maybe I can say that the time is there. I don't need to spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes to write a letter. In a fraction of a minute, 2 minutes or 3 minutes, it creates and gives. So I can save more time, right? So I have a tool which helps me to help me to do things faster. Okay, so when these things are going this much faster, so what are our children should know, that's the skill. Skill means what? Even though you have a tool, you should know how to use the tool. That's what we say in the AI. We normally say you should create a prompt, proper prompt, right? That prompt is something called as in critical thinking, right? So one side, if you're going, that things are moving very faster, the AI is there. Now the AI says there is no need of writing a code, there is no need of a computer science engineer who sit and write and code. Everything is developed. There's no developers not required because all those things started done by the artificial intelligence. Right, now we know that when things are moving faster, we have to ensure our children are thinking. Our thinking skill has to be improved. In that, only is the thinking skill is needed. Yes, it's a critical thinking. When you think beyond out of box, we say out of box, you started creating something. Okay, so for creating something, it is not only, you cannot say, no, I'm teaching artificial intelligence in my classroom. No, it's not artificial intelligence alone is going to help the children. Now, once the artificial intelligence has been introduced, you know that all children in the college course, they started joining in the artificial intelligence course. Computer science started, all went and joined computer science course. But here, we have to understand the thinking skill has to be developed irrespective of any field, whether artificial intelligence or whatnot. The thinking skill of the children has to be improved. For that, we have to incorporate the thinking. How I'm going to think? We say, design the thinking. Okay. Are we giving chance for the children to think? That is what this Kushal Bodh and Kushal Vikas. Okay, Kushal Bodh, which we are doing it in 6th, 7th, 8th. And in Kushal Vikas, it is for 9th and 10th standard. Okay, it is a compulsory subject, either in 6th standard or 9th to 10th standard. This year, it's only for 9th. Maybe next year, it may be percolated to the next class. Right, that is 10th standard. So, in this, Kushal Vikas, that is how we are allowing a child to think in all the field, whether it is agriculture field, whether it is a designing field, and all those things. Are we giving chance? Because when you do a mathematics, most of the time I'll tell them, I'm doing a trigonometry. Where am I going to use this trigonometry? If you say when I'm using an addition, I can say, okay, I'll go to the shop, I'll buy something, add, subtract, and all those things. We know that we are using it day to day life. But what about our trigonometry? So like that, when I am dealing with a concept, how am I going to apply that in that thinking part, right? So we have to connect that directly. So these skill developments actually helping what I am learning through this particular subjects. I'm getting an application over these skill subject, that is nothing but a Kushal Vikas. So as teacher, what we have to understand here is it is not something different. Okay, it's like whatever we are going to do day to day life, how I'm going to understand about it. For example, if a teacher talks about an agricultural farm, children will be learning about it as a subject. But in a Kushal Bodh or Kushal Vikas, where you have been given a hands-on experience about the agriculture. So what happens when I do something hands-on in the agriculture? Obviously, that helped me for the better learning. So we normally, what happens in India, so far in the educational system, they are reading subject, they are getting 99. But there is no hands-on experience, there is no application part of it. There is no chance given to a child to apply the knowledge, whatever they are studying in the textbook. So this Kushal Vikas or Kushal Bodh help children to apply the knowledge, whatever they are studying in science or maths or whatever it is. So as teacher, we should understand it's very, very important part, and also how I'm going to execute that in the classroom. We should not see that, oh, it's a burden, it's one more subject, how I'm going to do that. Instead, we have to see that how parallelly I can do that so that my children will get a better understanding of concept what we are teaching in a classroom. So CBSE National Education Policy has given a clear guidelines, the pedagogical guidelines given based on the Kushal Vikas in the curriculum of National Education Policy 2020. And National Education Policy, it's generally states that the children learn the skill. But if you see NCF, it clearly states that how are we going to execute that in the classroom. Okay, so now we are going to see Kushal Vikas, this for 9th standard, present 9th standard. And when the children come to 10th standard, they take a board examination in the Kushal Vikas. Okay, I'll also tell you what maybe, because since the question paper and other thing, blueprint, we have not seen, I don't say exactly, but I can say that this is how they may be the question paper or questions may arise. Okay, next page, next slide, please. So as I told you, in a middle stage, 6, 7, 8, it is called as an Kushal Bodh. So there is a broad exposure based on the approach, all the 3 domains in the skill. And it also have a connectivity in class 9. In the secondary stage, it is called as in Kushal Vikas, in-depth exposure. So you are giving a broad exposure in the 6, 7, 8. In-depth exposure has been given, focused on developing competencies. As I told you, it is not simply doing some agriculture work or carpentry work. It is not like that. You can see the concepts are directly connected to the concept which you are teaching in your science or your physics or your mathematics. It is connected to that. So it is only improving the competency. Competency is nothing but your skill, how the skill has developed. Normally, for example, in a mathematics, we'll see that there is a table. It has got this much width, this much breadth, and calculate the area of it, right? So when you give a table and the breadth, the children will find it difficult to answer for the word problem or the problem with the picture. Okay, now the same child measuring and doing a small carpentry work. Okay, this is the length of a table, this is the breadth of a table. When you give that question in the mathematics, the child understands faster. This is what the connection of competency of a Kushal Vikas and the mathematics. That is how we have to understand the subject. Bridging the gap between projects-based exposure and deeper engagement with the specific secondary stage in the vocational education. So the skill development is very, very important because, as I told you, it connects the competencies in the concept which they are learning in the subject. So first subject competencies are get clarified. Next level, thinking beyond the designs. Okay, maybe somebody is asking you to design a table in a square or a rectangle. The child may be doing hexagon, or child may be doing in a polygon or something like that. He creates, he's going beyond and creating a design. When he started creating a design, then he'll become an entrepreneur for that. So the idea of introducing the skill subject, creating more entrepreneur in that all the field whatever they are expressing, because we know children think beyond. So when you give something, we can understand that like there is a chance for the child to do and explore and create something. Okay, next. So there are three basic concepts has been given, that is work with life form, work with machines and material, work with human services. This is the broad three categories of the skills has to be introduced. The same in the 6, 7, 8 also, and ninth also. Okay, so work with life forms, work with machines and material, work with human services. So in NCF 2023 mandated students must actively engage in work at least one vocation for each of these three forms during ninth. Okay, in these, out of at least one vocation of each of these three forms. So all these threes are compulsory. In these three, one they have to do. So in a year, they have to take minimum 3 projects. Okay, next. So how these competencies are taking up? It is, for example, if you see the design, okay, chapters are developed with the particular competencies. The competencies are in the form of, we all know this sustainable developmental goals. Okay, right? Like that, it's not that one day it will get over, like how many ever time you can do that. For example, if you take agriculture can be done in many things, right? So every child based on their area. For example, some children are hilly area, some children are in the dry area, some children where there is more water availability. So based on that, this agriculture can be used in all those areas. So the program is developed in such ways. It is not the school which is in remote can do this. Children those who are in the city cannot do. It's not like that. Even terrace farming is also introduced in the agriculture. So all children can able to do that, and it is a continuous betterment. So when you take an agriculture, we can do a lot of innovations in that. So when you're doing an innovation, the data has been collected, and the data can be analyzed, and that can be a feed for the next one who's coming. Maybe like how you do a research. We have done something and we leave the thing to the next one. They'll take it up and they further develop the same thing. And here, when you're talking about agriculture or carpentry, you should not say, ma'am, you only speak about AI is developing. Now you are telling that agriculture. So what the children will do with the agriculture when the AI is developing, right? So how now you have to see every chapter, they deal like, for example, I'm talking about agriculture. How can you check the soil acidity and all those things? You are using a AI programming. Or you can see that using an data of how many insects are coming, what kind of pesticide you are using, how these pesticides are controlled, how many days it's taking, all those data analysis using an artificial intelligence, they are using it. So every chapter has given how are we going to use a technology, how are we going to incorporate the technology in that also it has been given. Okay, and also it is talked about the healthcare basics, because as we know that we also had a COVID and children create a lot of awareness about the health and wellness. So here, how are we going to create an health awareness, basic healthcare awareness? Because you know that nowadays children are not having much physical activities. Many children are obese. That's why CBSE has introduced sugar-free school, right? The zero sugar schools. Like that, a lot of concept has been introduced by CBSE. So when a child come to know about their basic health and other things, so they'll take care of the health in a better way. And also the environmental management. Okay, and service and delivery. Service industries are booming. What are all the service industry, whether if you take a Uber or food delivery or a gadget delivery, whatever it is, the service delivery is increasing. How to manage, how to do a betterment, all those ideas that the students will explore. Okay, so the first chapter in every unit is mandatory. As I told you, that general topics which are very, very mandatory. It builds a foundation of the key concepts of common process, planning, costing, technological drawing, service orientation that apply across the vocational courses. Subsequent chapter develop competencies. For example, if you're taking agriculture, in that agriculture, first chapter general is, common, everybody has to do. In that specialization, what specialization you're going to take, that's a secondary. So the competencies are very specific to that particular vocational courses. Okay, next. So as I told you, the overview of the chapter, work with life form. It's the first chapter. In that, agriculture practices, it is mandatory. Chapter 2 to 4, illustration of 7 vocational courses. Under chapter 2 to 4, there are 7 vocational courses has been given. In that, you can choose any one. What is that? We'll see detail later. Okay. So same way, work with machine, shaping material is mandatory. In that, if you see 6th to 8th chapter, again 7 vocational topic has been given. You can choose that. And again, the third one is work in human services. Chapter 9, personal and lifestyle services, which is mandatory. Again, 10 to 12, illustration of 7 occasion, 1 to be selected. Go to next slide. Okay, now if you see chapter 1, first box we have given mandatory, developing common competencies across the form of work. Key concepts and process related to broad vocational area. So chapter 1 is agriculture, chapter 2 is shaping material, chapter 9 is personal and lifestyle services. These 3 are common. And what is optional? In this optional, if you see, rooftop gardening. Okay, that is whether you are going to select rooftop gardening, precision farming. I'll discuss with you what is precision farming in a later. And next is guidelines for 5 more. I'll also show like mushroom cultivation, aquaponics, physiculture, backyard poultry, non-timber forest product. Like that, some of the vocational courses also given. So first chapter, general agricultural practices common, every school has to take. In that second one, what is that you're going to take? Are you going to take rooftoping? Are you going to take precision making? Are you going to take mushroom cultivation, aquaponic culture? Any one you have to choose. Same way in unit 2, chapter 5, shaping material is compulsory. And in that, if you see construction, maybe you can take a small, you teach children to build a small house, a small room, or a model house, like that you can prepare, or apparel designing, or guidelines for 5 more occasions, like sheet metal work, plumbing work, food processing, furniture making, pottery, etc. For example, shaping material, if you take, maybe any objects, it can be a wood, it can be a metal or anything. How are you making something out of that? Shaping those material is compulsory. Next, you can take, maybe if you see that maybe I have a pottery person nearby, I can call him, I can train my children in a pottery, or a small furniture, model furniture making, or plumbing. I have a plumber in-house in school. So I will develop something where I can teach children how I can design the routing, the plumbing work, how the leaking pipe can be done. All those things, if you're trying to teach, it's all about a choice of the school which is available, you can take it up. And the next one, chapter 9, it is personal and lifestyle services. That's compulsory. In that, you can say healthcare. There are options have been given in the healthcare, tourism, guidelines for 5 more occasional courses like hospitality, event management, data-based services, interior design, and public information services. So when you take it up tourism, you can start with, maybe you can start planning how you can do tour in your school, how we are calling the a quotation for the tour, and how you are arranging from getting a quotation till you are going and coming back, the feedback, getting a feedback, till that they should do. The children have to do. That's in tourism. Other than that, you can say hospitality and event management. Maybe in your school, lot of events, annual day, sports day, all those things will be done. How the children are designing, how they are planning this annual day or sports day, what are, how that program has been done, how they designed, how that event has been taken part, whatever, whether it's a refreshment, whether the program, how they did, all those things they can do to the data management. Same data, same event data can be used for the betterment. Data management means whether you are getting a feedback from every person who's coming inside your program, what are the feedback, how many have come, what is that turnout of last year and this year. So like that you can do a data analysis, or maybe you can say every day how many people are coming inside your school and going out of the school, and I mean, what is that data, how you're managing those data, or how you're sending messages per day, how many messages you are sending from the school. I'm just giving you an idea how many messages you are sending from the school, and how many of them are how many of them useful. Like everything is useful, but same time, like how a reaction of the parents, which is immediate attention needed or late attention needed, like that you can analyze those data. Anything in your school, it can be a sports event, it can be in a canteen, it can be your electric bill, or it can be a water, anything, how you are using those data to make a better informed decisions, or how we are using those data. That's very important. Same like interior designs and public information services, how you are using this public information services, have you set up a public information system, maybe in front of your school, how you are going to help, on all those things you can take it up. So as I told you, the Kushal Vikas, the book has got class 9, they have got a 3 main project: unit 1 chapter agriculture, and shaping material, and personal and lifestyle health. This is the common. Okay, then other than that, you can take whatever the optional locations has been given. It is mandatory, and you have to maintain all the portfolios, and you have to maintain all the data. So it is compulsory. So whom we can appoint? Now the biggest question, okay, madam, you are telling Kushal Vikas has to be taught. Who will do this? Right now the academic year is started. So now if you see the chapter, when you see that agriculture, shaping material, and personal hygiene, if you take agricultural part, I think the science teachers or your home science teacher in your school EVS teacher can handle this. So if you see any of your EVS, home science and science teachers are free, you can take help of them to conduct this in the 9th standard. If you say shaping a material, maybe again you can take any of your art teacher also. Shaping material in the sense, even when wood or something, if you have a carpenter in your school, or with the help of art teachers period and other things, you can help them to design this shaping the materials. You can see the detail in a chapter. It's very, very activity based. Clearly it is given how to take it up. So you can take an art teacher, or the teacher whom you feel, because it's already instruction has been given, it is only to execute. So in that particular 9th standard, whomever you feel, okay, this class they can take it up. Maybe even an English teacher can do. This is not n mark of only science teacher can do, math teacher can do. Whoever is free in that time, you can assign them irrespective of the subject. Why? Because it's a general thing about agriculture, or general things about shaping a material, and the detailed information has been given how to execute and all those things. Anyway, you're not going directly to it. A teacher will be there, student will be there, and also will take some help of our aunties and the employees, D-level employees, and whoever is C-level employees, who is going to help us. Okay, with that only we are going to do. I don't think there is a subject is a matter. Whoever teachers interested, first thing, whoever teacher can able to handle those children and help the children to think beyond, they can take it up. And how many periods? Maybe in a week, 2 periods, because it has to be a block period. Unless if it's a block period, you cannot do that, because you have to take them to the agricultural field, or you can take them to the small setup of whatever you are doing, whether it is a sheet metal work, or plumbing work. At least you have to go assemble, the person has to come, the person has to demonstrate. After demonstration, the children have to do some hands-on work there. So one period it is not possible. It should be a block period. It can be after your seventh period, eighth period, from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock, one day in a week you can fix it up, or on the Saturday you can fix it up. It's up to you in a timetable or an extra time. You can do that in the class. So as I told you, this teacher, no bar, any teacher who is able to help taking first children, they have to be controlled by the students, and the children have to be motivated, and they have to be form a group. After forming a group, you have to assign the work to them, and you have to identify the place where you are going to do it and who's going to help you. All those things has to be done prior. Then what will happen? You're identifying the periods, whether it is the evening 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock, or in the Saturday, or in between block periods, you can assign accordingly. You can put that in the timetable. Okay, go next. So when you take a mandatory, see, agricultural practices focus on essential conditions of growth and decision making. Okay, then next, as I told you, there is a rooftop gardening, precision making, and the next is next choice may be a mushroom cultivation, aquaponics, pisciculture, backyard poultry, and no timber forest product. Okay, maybe if you have an open space, you can also, think of a backyard poultry also. Go next. That's unit 1. This is unit 2, machines and materials. As I told you, shaping materials is compulsory. In that, construction you can take. And next is apparel. Apparel design, maybe you can have to buy some machines, you have to draw, and there's cutting and all those things you have to teach. And also, it's not necessarily apparel design only in cutting. In other crochet form and other forms also, whichever you feel better, you can do that. Okay, the next, metal work, plumbing, food processing, furniture making, and the pottery making also comes in the materials and machine. Next. Then unit 3, human services. As I told you, person and lifestyle services focus on developing services, orientation, creating a service environment, healthcare, tourism, hospitality, event management, data-based services, interior design, and public information services. You can choose anything one from this area. Next. So when you are talking about this, as I discussed in the beginning, it is based on their local context. Okay, what kind of an agriculture you can do in that particular area based on a climatic condition, and all those things you can choose. The textbook has provided 21 planned occasions, 7 per farm. As I told you, 7 is there, to ensure immediate flexibility for schools without requiring additional curriculum design. There's no need for you, how I'm going to do, how I'm going to design. All those things are given in the Kaushal Vikas textbook. You can download and you can see that. Okay. The ultimate flexibility is schools are officially empowered to select a completely different occasion outside the textbook. Now, if you see, ma'am, I don't want all this 21. I have something else which is very interesting and I can do, because maybe, for example, doll making and doll design. Maybe that is your local product where you will easily get the people who can train your children. You can very well call them doll making and doll designing. You can do that, or game designing. You can do that. But only thing is, what is the end of the thing the children have learned is very, very important in the vocational course. It's not necessary you have to do only this. You can do beyond this also. And while doing safety check, if creating a custom vacation based on local context and expert availability, the school must simply ensure it meets the core competency outlined in NCF. You understood? It is not that only this 21 you have to take. You can go beyond, but your occasional local context should meet the core competencies of NCF SE 2023. That is what is required. Next. Next slide, please. So, as I told you, the anatomy of what the vocational courses actually is, that is, call out a margin continuous reinforcement what is being learned in a real lifetime. That is very importantly, the children have to have a real application based learning. Each chapters begin by explicit mapping. So what is the chapter is expecting, and I'll also show you what is this expectation, what will fulfill, what is that assessment areas, and all those things have been clearly given in the Kaushal Vikas textbook. Mapping what students will be able to do, ensuring awareness of learning goals. Real world context, integration of specific task, cases, and additional information to anchor theory in reality. There is a subtitle called Hesital, and also it is a portfolio. I'll show you later. Those things will give a clarity on what are the information has been given in the book and how it is connecting to the real world. And if you see that safety and technology, every chapter deal with the safety. Okay, what are the safety measures you have to do before taking this? And also, as I told you, technology integration. Okay, prominent indicators for safety precautions, and alongside deducted reference to technology and artificial intelligence. Okay, these are all the things you can see in the textbook. Next. So if you see all this vocational course based on Indian knowledge system, and every chapter have a value and heritage and gender sensitivity and inclusion. So any of this vocational courses, you cannot say it is not value based. It's everything, it is valuing. So why not? It has been dealt, and gender sensitivity everywhere, the gender has been taken priority, and inclusion. Is it only normal children can do? No, all children can interestingly can do. So that it has been, we know that CBSE is a inclusive classroom. We have got a different variety children. So all these courses are suitable to all kind of students. Cross-cutting themes. These themes are not isolated from the chapters. They are integrated wherever possible directly into the stepwise process and the real world scenario of the vocational training. So whatever the out of box, whatever the beyond the things, cross-cutting themes are also introduced here. So it is Indian knowledge system, the values and heritage has been maintained, gender sensitivity has been there, and the inclusion is also there. Next. So as I told you, I'm recalling. So life forms, machine material, and human services. In-depth exposure of one vocational course, which is optional. Okay, so the assessment, and that is the stepwise assessment process. Okay, and then during and after chapter assessment, summarize of the key learning, evaluation question. If you take any topic, stepwise process, how to do what. First is this learning outcome, what are we going to learn, then stepwise how we are going to learn, then during and after doing we have an assessment, then after that assessment we have a summarization, key points are there in every chapter, then we have a evaluation question. Every chapter, end of a chapter, there is an evaluation question. So, and also a part is called as a comprehensive student portfolio. So once I'm doing a chapter itself, it has been given what you're supposed to do in the portfolio, that is your evidence. So I'm doing this agriculture life form. While doing life form, I create some evidences for the portfolio. That what kind of a evidence you want, a name, a tag called portfolio has been given. So from that you can understand, okay, this is what has been expected from the student. The textbooks provide explicit guidance on what specific artifacts can be, should be added in this portfolio, turning abstracts, competencies, and tangible proof of capabilities. Because at the end of a year, maybe I don't know, 60-40 or 50-60, whatever it is, that portfolio have a lot of weightage. So you're doing agriculture, what you did, the evidence, what you did this, how you plowed, and photography of a plowing, what you did during a plowing, how you did a plowing, and all those lot of questions that is created for the assessment, and maybe length and breadth and all those things of the area of a land which they have used. All those things are like a question it has been asked so that the child can answer it and have it in the portfolio. Okay, next. So now, so far we have seen the outline of the textbook, that what is that book is actually based on the National Education Policy. The children of 6 to 10 has to learn about the vocational courses. For 6 to 8, it is called as in Kushal Bodh, and 9th and 10th, it is called as in Kushal Vikas. In the Kushal Vikas, it's a vocational subject. In the vocational subject, it has become mandatory. I told you why it is mandatory. Then it has been divided into 3 parts: life form, mission, and human services. That is common, and other one is important. Like that, what is the outline of a generally for the textbook? Now, what is there for a student? Okay, next slide, please. Earlier one. For a student, if you see, it's a blueprint for the world of work. See, usually, as I told you earlier, our children were reading a concept in a textbook. They may be scoring 99%, but they don't know actually how the work in the happens, the skill development happens. So it is a visual guide for your vocational textbook, hands-on learning, and a future career pathway. Understand, this is very, very important. It is a future career pathway. It is not simply, oh, they are burdening, CBSE is burdening, why they are now adding, who will do this agriculture, who will do this carpentry. It is not like that. It is, you are directing a child. As I told you, when you give something on hands-on, the child creates something new. When a child creates something new, he will become an entrepreneur. That is very, very important. You're allowing a child from 6 onwards, the chance has been given to a child, because otherwise what I mean, they just read, write, and go. That's not going to help for the future. Future youngsters. As I told you, the artificial intelligence is moving forward, the mission is going forward. So for that, you have to develop a child for the better understanding to create something new to the society and to the world. So for that, the chance has been given from these courses, from using these vocational courses. Child started developing a career pathway. That is very, very important. Here, as a teacher, we have to understand that the CBSE has very, very thoughtfully done this, because you know that the Indian population, we are the populous country in India. So they have to be developing a skill. You know that now after completing the engineering, the students, those are coming out, they don't know anything, like they have scored, they may be getting a lot of marks and other things, but the hands of experience is very, very limited. So here the chance has been given to the child to do something with their hand. Next. So it's a career pathway to 6th to 10th children. Next. So future career preferences and practical daily life. Okay, madam, is it only for career? No, as well as the daily. No, I should know what are the things I'm using. For example, if you ask a child where the milk is coming from, the child will say, I'm getting it from the supermarket. Instead that I should actually know where this milk is coming from, how to feed a cow, and what to feed a cow, how to take care of the cow, and all those things are daily. Earlier, maybe 50 years before, if you see, it was a part and parcel of every family. Every family will have one cow, or neighbor will have it. So they know all those things. But today, it has become urbanization, as I told you, technological world. It is very important for a child to get all these things. So future career preferences and practical daily life, hands-on action. Work directly with your hands, apply learning in practical real-world scenario to bridge a gap between classroom theory and the world of work. That's very, very important. Children are doing something hand, whatever they are studying in the classroom has been converted into a world of work. Group and collaboration, it is not an individual work, it is a team work. So you collaborate with your friends, build a team, work skills, because collaborative discuss and make learning both more effectively enjoyable. It is earlier only the teacher was keeping on speaking. Now I'm going to work with all my friends in a group. I understand whose strength and weaknesses. We started working together. The teamwork will develop. Transferable competencies, learn basic and generic skills. Even if your school select one specific vocation, the core competency you build will apply across multiple future pathway. If you see 6th standard, if a child is taking an agriculture, but when a child does the different thing when they are doing terrace farming or other how the basic can be applied to the next level. So what happens, like the competencies are transferable, the learning is very, very application oriented learning happens. So for the students, it's all about hands-on, group and collaborative and transferable competencies. Beyond that, it is a career preferences for them, the career pathway. Next. So again, for students, so again, they said three kind of life forms: work with life forms, work with machines, work with human services. So you know about environment. If you see environment in three concepts: environment, forms, and natural ecosystem. Environment, factories and workspace. Same environment, service and services in the environment. If you see how they are connecting three domains. Okay, when you see environment, we just talk about the plants and other things. But in an environment, how these plant products are going to the factory. For example, you can take a timber going to a carpenter for making something. Okay, now for example, if you can take a table or chair. Now we see services, how this table and chair sold, like how they are doing advertisement, how they are getting the customer, how they are selling it, all those things. So the domains are connected. Focus on managing raw natural material. Here, focus on creating process. Now you have a wood. I'm giving example of wood. There are a lot of things. Wood easy to understand. I'm telling it. So now we are getting a wood that's a raw material. Focusing on creating processing product. So I'm getting a wood. How I'm going to design it? How I'm going to create it as a showpiece or a furniture? What I'm going to create from that? And how I'm going to deliver the final value to the human. How this product, the end product, is going to help the human or the mankind. Example, testing, growing media, making technical drawing, and creating service environment. They are testing and growing the media product they are talking about. You understand how these three domains are interrelated and how these three designs are helping a child. For example, if you see that a child who's studying in marketing in a college. Okay. Now, when a child is studying about a marketing of personal product, after coming to 2-3 years in the service of marketing, he will know, oh, this is a product, this is how I have to sell and all those things. When those things are given in the school level itself, child will understand the how this product has been prepared, and what is raw material, how we have to sell, and all those things. Idea has been given. He will be better when he come out of the school or a college. It's not required another 2 years for him to learn about the marketing process. Understood? So from the school level itself, we are preparing him for the work life. So that is very, very important, because now we are giving a theoretical knowledge. But when these three domains of work has been taken, when the child come out of the school itself, he will be school or a college itself, he will be ready for the work. That is very, very important here as a vocational course. Next. Next slide, please. So value creation from origin to delivery. When you take a life form, raw materials are cultivated in form. Transformation, machine and material. Raw materials are processed into a product within the factory. Delivery and human services. Products are delivered to people as a service, adding a final value. So when you take a life form, what is the value? We are valuing the life as a plant. Okay. And when you are transferable to a machine, we are valuing it as a product. And then the last, it is a service, how happy the customer is, right? Like whatever it is. So how the value has been added in each level. Job do not exist in isolation. Understanding the linkage between the vocation help to understand the complete world of work. You understand? It is not that I'm working in a furniture company. It is isolated. It's not related. When I understand I am working in a furniture company, where I get a furniture's raw product from the agriculture. So when I'm working in a furniture company, I don't give importance to an agriculture field. If I don't do it, then what will happen? It is not I'm valuing the agriculture field. I should understand I'm getting the product from the agricultural field. So I have to value the agricultural field also. I should, it means that I should give importance to my soil. I should not pollute my soil. I should not put wastage into my soil. So it is directly connected how you're adding the value to each level. So they will understand that how, as a child, they will not much awareness. So when we are dealing with all those things, definitely children will get more awareness about this. Next. So navigation, navigating your textbook, the icon glossary. So a different icon has been given in the textbook to easy for their understanding. Transferable learning. The icon is like this. Skill applicable across multiple vacation. Example, creating the process chart. Portfolio, helpful hint and guidance on what evidence of work to add into your personal portfolio. Caslet, practical examples from the fictional government high school to explain the task detail. So the castle has been given every, forms of life. There is one how it has been done in government schools. Okay, that one particular government schools has been taken a sample, how they did all those detailed story has been story is given so that it is easy for the children to understand. Task, specific hands-on activity to apply what you have just read. The next, technology and AI. Teach related task requires strict cyber safety precautions. Safety, crucial precautions and hazard warning for a specific task. So these are all the tasks, these are all the iconic glossary. For example, in one particular chapter, there will be a transferable learning, portfolio, caslet, and task, technology, AI, and safety. All those icons are in every chapter. It means what? That what is the learning I'm doing? What is the portfolio I'm going to do? What is the case study has been given here? What is the task as a student I have to do? How can I connect that to a technology and the safety process? You understand? So this is easy for a children to understand with these icons. Next. So the dual mandate safety, physical workplace safety and digital AI safety. There are different safety has been given here. That's why it's called as a dual mandate safety. Okay, the safety which they have to take place, well, maybe for example, when they are doing an agriculture, when they are doing shaping a machine, shaping a metal, what are all the gloves they should wear, how safety the materials they can use, all those things, the safety of physical safety. Okay. Find the potential dangers before starting. Even when you have started plowing, or even when you are giving some sharp object to a children, what they push somebody. So there is a lot of danger even if you give something sharp object to the student. So before giving, what are the safety measures has to be, what are the instruction has to be given to the students. Hold tools and handle materials strictly by protocols. When I have to hold, when I have to use it, how I have to use it, and all those protocols should be given to our children clearly. Use secured gadget, shoe, goggle, and gloves whenever there is when there is something. What will happen if you don't wear a glove? When maybe they are digging the soil or something like that, something happened allergic to a child, then we have to be very precautionary. We have to maintain workplace hygiene before and after work. So after doing, I should not throw something and come. How I'm going to clean all those things. So this is the physical workplace. Where am I working? Am I working with a metal, or maybe I'm doing a human services, like how we do in a corona time? We call them, we check them, and all those things. Dental checkup, or maybe other eye checkup, or wherever, whatever I'm doing it in my school. How can I avoid the contact and the communicable disease and all those things? I should wear a mask, I should wear a glove, all those things. These are all the physical workplace safety. When it comes to the digital safety, as I told you, every chapter you have to connect something with the data, some connected with the computers and AI. So only use internet search or AI tool under the adult supervision. It's not that every now and then I can use it. Whenever it is necessary, I should use it. Recognize that, like the real world, the internet has an unsafe spaces. So there is an unsafe space. So you should be very clear. Instruction has been given how safely I should use the internet. Be careful of what you access. It is not sometimes what will happen. Children, want the curiosity, they started downloading many things which may be a hazardous things. So those kind of instructions has to be given. Whenever in doubt, ask someone you trust. If you're finding that link or you're finding that some malicious act in that, that is the children have to take responsibility to ask someone, the adult, to before doing it. So there are dual mandate: safety in while doing, safety in the internet. Okay, next slide, please. Once again. Next is a student action loop. Look forward and reflect. That is, evaluate the task. What did you appreciate most? So these are all the questions after the task has been given. It is there in the textbook also. So I'm just recalling. Evaluate the task. What did you appreciate? After doing that, how do I appreciate? Maybe it's a farmer. Maybe it's a factory person who's creating that. Like, use these insight to identify which vocation you might want to pursue in future career after every chapter. Maybe it's a rooftop gardening or a mushroom cultivation or a physical, whatever it is. After doing a small thing, the child has to reflect on where I can connect this. As I told you, it is a career pathway. So what kind of a career I'm interested in this? What kind of a career I can take it related to that? That reflection the children have to write in the portfolio. Act learning by doing. Engage in hands-on activity. Apply your learning through a small task in school, in your community, or at home. Practice makes perfect. It is not only you're doing it in the school. For example, if the same learning you are taking it at home, in your home you can have a small garden, have a mushroom growth, or a small tank where you can grow fishes, or making a small carpentry work with the tool which you have it. How you're transferring what you're learning. We say, after going home, what is the extended learning? We'll say, how you're doing that extended learning. Then never hesitate. Ask teacher, parents, or peer as many questions as you needed. Decisions makes learning fun, and when discussion make learning fun and effective. So when you're doing it, it has been informed that ask many questions. It's not that simply teacher is telling you to do. Why should I do? How can I do? How it can I improve? Why this is like this? Why it is like that? Like that, a lot of questions the children have to ask. That is what has been instruction has been given. So when you're doing something, think about it. How can I take that as my future workspace, or future, how can I connect with my dreams? Maybe, for example, even a child wants to do an artificial intelligence or computer science or a doctor in the future. These kind of a healthcare system, what doctor I wanted to become. When you're doing a healthcare, you can identify a lot of things. So he can identify what kind of a doctor I should be. I should be a general physician, I should be an ophthalmologist, I might be a dentist, I can be a bone specialist. So they can think it like that when you are doing a healthcare service. Even when you are doing an agriculture services, you can say that what kind of a machine I can create. Okay, these are all the problems that how I'm going to design a machine when I'm doing a mechanical engineering or anything. So how these a small act or a small vocational course is helping you to design your future, and also hands-on experience which you can extend to your home or a society. Okay, next. So now, so far, we have seen what the children are as a student. As a students, it is a career pathway. It is not a small class like what we do normally in the practical period. No, they'll come, the teacher will dictate all those things. They will write the number. Okay, this is what will come, and calculate and go. It's not like that. It's very, very hands-on, which is your future career pathway. So if you put full your effort, maybe you can learn more from the vocational course. That's for the students. Next is 4 pillars of pedagogy. Who is for pedagogy? It is for the teacher. How it is going to be taught in the classroom, a pedagogy and also an assessment. Okay, so it is an authentic work, purposefully added technology, universal inclusion of safety and local knowledge. We know that it is from the local knowledge. So authentic work, learning rooted in real work, environment and people, focus on productive highly visible outcome. So now if you have a smaller designing of a metal, designing of a wood and whatever it is, the child is designing with the hand. So it's a real work. Also, they're adding a meaningful interaction. For example, when you're adding a drawing, like you know that I can use a design, a tool using an AI, using a CAD and a monitoring apps, and many things have been given. What a kind of a tool, technological tool can be used in that particular thing also given. So the technology enable better precision. It does not replace hands-on engagement, right? So the teacher has to understand, the student has to understand technology is only a tool, helps us, right? Then universal inclusion and safety, equal access regardless of background. Enforce strict safety protocols across tools, electrical, chemical, and cyber domain. So equal access. Yeah, everybody can get an access, but only thing is safety for the inclusion children and or every child. Local vidya, local knowledge, integrating indigenous system to situated learning in culture context, revealing the true diversity of real world work, to understanding about the real world work. So it's a local knowledge. So 4 pillars, it's a local knowledge, it is an authentic work, technology corrected, and safety is very, very important. Individual safety is very, very important in this. Next. So when you say end-to-end imperative, you start with the, for example, if you start with the technology, for example, seed, then you go to cultivation. Okay, then you can do a harvest. Then you can use how you can use a phototype or a product or a blueprint or a technology. So all these are interrelated one. So how are we going to, for example, it is not simply a agricultural feed, where in this agricultural feed or a seed selection or a seed cultivation and all those things, how am I going to use a technology also? Complete cycle, build understanding of sequencing, responsibility and ownership. Outcome must be visible. Cultivating a crop, producing an item, providing a service, and repairing an appliance. Okay, for example, I'm producing a product and selling the product is also service. Giving service after that, maintenance and service also a service. So how I'm going, all these services is also important. So it is end to end, where I am producing, how I am completing the service and the customer satisfaction. That is end to end, a complete cycle and all these things, all these 3 life forms. Next. So when it comes to the assessment, if you see the 75% demonstrated performance, school-based with an external examiner assessed via observation, portfolio, viva was directly related to the process of doing. So when you are taking a terrace gardening, physically you should have a terrace gardening. Some of the outsider will come and see how you have your terrace gardening or mushroom growth or physiculture. They may be asking that now how we do in practicals like observation, and then they look into the portfolio, how many intervals you have taken to cultivate this, and viva voce and all those things. 25% written examination, paper pencil test, rigorously designed for applied context, case studies, or practical problem solving. Here it is not like I'm reading and writing. The context, like case study will give, a case study has been given. Based on a case study, how the child is going to answer. So inside, assessment of process of demonstration is important as the assessment of end product. Right? As a how the end product we are showing, like that, the assessment is also very, very important. The assessment is also there. It is a board based. That is what CBSE so far has been given. This curriculum, this year curriculum 26-27 has been given. It is assessed, has to be assessed, and it will be board based, board examination for Kaushal, Vikas. So 75% demonstration, what you do throughout an year, and you have to maintain. And next is 25% is your written test, pen and paper test. Next. So what we measure in the 3 domains? What is measured in the 3 domains? So first, attention to detail, persistence, teamwork, empathy, curiosity, and respect for a dignity of labor. So they understand when they are doing an agriculture or they are doing a small cutting a metal or shaping a metal and whatever it is, maybe a bangle making, a doll making, whatever it is, they started appreciating the dignity of labor, how important each one in the society. Because if you don't have somebody to create a small pipe, we will be finding difficult to use the bathroom, because all those pipes only making our toilet and all those things. So children started appreciating, oh, these people are important. And persistence, teamwork. Persistent means completely understanding what it's happening. I'm doing a teamwork. I have an empathy. I have a curiosity. All those things will come. And next is understanding the fundamental reasoning and science behind a specific. Even though if you make a small, pipe in the metal, okay, these pipes, how, maybe, how we can be shape it, how we are shaping it, and what are all the science behind it, which metal we can use it to make a pipe, why we are using stainless steel, why we are using plastic, and what is the durability. For example, I'm telling. So they started understanding the fundamental reason of science behind it. So why preferring metal, why not preferring a plastic some places. So all those understanding will be better. Next, performing task and safety correctly and in a proper logical sequence. Performing task safety. Safety, we have said all the safety is important, and how a sequence of work. For example, first you have to plow, then only you can seed. It is not that after seeding I can plow. Like that sequencing is very, very important in the work. How we are studying first standard, second standard, third standard, fourth standard. Like sequencing is very, very important. If you don't do the sequence, then the end product will be different. That's a child should understand that how sequencing is important. Right. Next. So in the assessment, in the weightage, maybe they can go to a site to visit in some of the things. 5% real world exposure. Maybe, for example, if you're doing a mushroom culture in your school, you can take you to the place where actually the mushroom culture is happening, how the farmer is doing, maybe an interview with the farmer, maybe taking a photograph of that land, a questioning can be done, an interview can be done, and all those things is a site visit. 25% of teacher observation, like whether the child is interested doing it, are they participating, they are showing interest, and all those things. 25% demonstration and viva voce. That is, once again, there is a lot of noise disturbance. 1 minute. Shakila. No, please. I'm sorry, there is a lot of voice from my window. So 25% demonstration and viva voce. 25% is a paper pencil test, and 30% to the portfolio. They told you what are all the things you have to maintain, tell us to maintain in the portfolio. So the concept, whatever the concept, based on that, maybe you can take a child to the site visit also. Okay, next. Okay. Then next, if you see diagnostic matrix mapping competencies. Okay. When your value disposition, maybe you can create, and also given a viva voce point, maybe you can have a value disposition, whether the child has understood the value disposition of it by observing it. Maybe when you're doing a work, a child is very careless, is not, not understanding the value behind the work and all those things. That's based on the observation. And how the child is maintaining the tool when you are giving it. And the procedural knowledge. It can be there, it cannot be there. It can be in through the viva voce. Maybe you can ask them how you are doing it by a procedure, or maybe from the portfolio, or maybe from the return. And the task performance, how the child is performing the activity when they are doing it in a group, how whether the child is participating in it or isolating, doing something, distraction, and all those things. Accordingly, how the child is doing a task performance. Then next is the quality of assessment. The assessment can be a viva voce, maybe taken from the portfolio, or it can be a written test, or the self or a peer interview. You can ask the peer also how he is participating, how is he doing, what is your understanding. All those you can create your own peer question. So like that, you can create a checklist for the diagnostic matrix and mapping of the competencies of the competencies as a tool. Okay, next. The assessment as an evidence toolkit, the portfolio. Okay, when you're talking about a portfolio which have a lot of information about the activity, what they are doing, process, chart, and sketches. So process means what? Okay, for example, you are planning to do a, what you can say, terrace gardening. Okay, now with the terrace gardening, which place first you are identifying a place and what you are going to do. Like that, how we do a map, no mind mapping. This first, this first, this first. So that planning and mapping should be there. That can be a paper that can be kept as a paper in the portfolio. Next, bill of material and budgeting. Okay, you are selecting this place, how we are going to redesign the place, what are all the material you need to redesign the place, what are you going to purchase. When you're going to purchase, are you purchasing with a quotation, and all those things, materials and budgeting can be also a paper in the portfolio. You can ask me, ma'am, it will be common for all children. No, yes, a place if you're identifying, and material purchase, because since the school is doing the budgeting, getting quotation and all those things common to all, right? And the progress photos and notes. For example, when it comes to progress, if you have 30 to 40 children, you can have a same piece of a learned or a different small piece of a learned for a group of students. So the progress photos, identifying place. For example, plowing. During plowing, you can take a photograph, and after seeding, you can take a photograph, and you can write this date. You can write this day's plowing happened. And then you can ask the children to write whatever your observation. Okay, today we came here, we did this. On their own, they can write and keep it. There we can tell the child, maybe you can use a after home, you can use a chat GPT to detail whatever you have done. You can ask them to write a small paragraph and then keep it. Then after that, after the same day, okay, it's not this 1 week you have to do all those things. That is progress photo and reflecting feedback every week you should have. Then only you can see the progress. So today what I did? Today I did plowing. So what is my reflection? I enjoyed the class. I understood this. I was watering this. Like that, the child can give a small, small reflection of it, what he was enjoying there in that particular place. You understood? So process chart is common for all children. Bill material is common for all children. Progress photo, it can be a different or it can be same also. Maybe you can give a patch of different land to each child. It can be a different photograph. A single big land for all children, you can take a single photograph. But reflection is different for every child. So each child will reflect on that and have a small paragraph in that. This is for the portfolio. Like that, every week, maybe you have a 6-week or a 10-week time for that particular project. All those things has to be compiled and kept in the portfolio. The portfolio builds the evidence of learning progression through the entire school year. It is a timeline of effort, not just a final product showcase. It cannot, as I told you, it cannot just suddenly you can show a mushroom culture or a rooftop culture. You should show every level of it, and every level you have to show the reflection of a child. Okay, today I did this week I did, and date and all those things, so that you can have a complete portfolio of when you start and where you end. Okay, next. So integrating assessment into a learning flow. Phase 1, what you can do, applied during active learning, putting conceptual procedural knowledge into a place while demonstrating foundational value. Assessment as learning is as for and the learning. For example, when you're starting, maybe as I told you, every week, maybe you're doing today plowing. Based on that, you can create 10 MCQs. You can ask them to answer those 10. Next week, maybe you can tell them maybe you are seedling or something. You can ask the children to draw a seed or something. So different kind of a formative task, we can take it up. Midpoint embedded questions or activities designed to itinerarily strengthen understanding before the final execution. As I told you, it can be an MCQ, it can be a drawing, it can be a a report, it can be a writing, all those small things at the end of every week or 15 days, which help you to, both assessment for and as learning, so that you understand, okay, whatever the children that they are able to understand the act what they are doing, and also for the portfolio, the work is in the progress. You understood? Okay, next. So staffing ecosystem, who deliver the content. A dedicated, skill educated teacher. For example, if you say in designing for a carpentry or a pottery, a normal teacher cannot take. So you need a person who is able to deliver or teach the pottery. Okay. So provide deep engagement across 3 distinct vocations per year. Target end status. So if you're calling a person who's going to teach a pottery, so you have to tell them that how many machines, a tool are required for creating a pottery for a 40 children of that particular class, and when he will come, as I told you, how many classes he will take, what are all the material he will take, and all those things. Mandate: the choice of the vocation must be dedicated by the tangible resources and authentic experts available close to the school. As I told you, the person should be an expert who's teaching the pottery. Expert in the sense who can able to make it an expert, right? So the teacher coordinator nominated staff. Now, for example, you're doing a pottery, a teacher, for example, even a science teacher, that's why I told you, science teacher, English teacher, art teacher, any teacher can be a coordinator. For this particular class, she will coordinate with the pottery person to execute and do the particular work. So teacher coordinator and the external resource person and master instructor from the community. Maybe you can have an external resources or from the community person. Maybe you can call a guest talk also. Maybe a person who is designing something in the, for example, a pottery can be making a small wheel also. Maybe you can see a factory where it's creating a metal or other parts, a terracotta and all those things. You can visit him, you can call him as a guest lecturer also. You can call him and you can ask him to talk about it. Okay, next. So complete a skill. So you can see, as I told you, it's an end-to-end task, the student executing an end-to-end task. So as first is Lokavidya, that is local knowledge, then universal safety measures, we have seen a pedagogy, we have seen the assessment also. So first we have to identify what is the knowledge I'm going to transfer through this competency, particular agriculture skill or whatever, human services or whatever it is. What is the skill I'm going to identify and how I'm going to take to execute that with the safety, and also I have an assessment and all those things. So NCF 23 is not a checklist of rules. It is a holistic ecosystem where authentic learning continuous evaluation and community expertise happening simultaneously. You have to understand it is just not to, again, another test, another exam. Like give me a paper, I write about agriculture and give you. It is not like that. The idea is how authentical the learning is transferring into a knowledge and how it has been, the value has been to the system where they can, the evaluation happens authentically, so that the transferable of knowledge, every child gets the knowledge skill. At the end of the day, the child has been skilled and the vocation has been transferred to a child. That's very, very important. Next slide, please. So, customizing your curriculum. What is the next step? For schools selecting vocation outside illustrative chapters, scan the QR code. For example, as I told you, there are 21 vocations has been given, vocational courses has been given in the textbook. Beyond that, if you want, at the end of that same Kaushal Vikas textbook, there is a QR code. Comprehensive competency mapping is also given. Learning outcomes and exam time, exact time when, where you have to complete, all those things have been given there. So you can scan and get a knowledge about all these things also. It is there in the textbook. Okay, next. So first, as I told you, I gave an introduction of what is Kaushal Bodh and Kaushal Vikas. Today we are talking about Kaushal Vikas, but it's connecting the Kaushal Bodh also 6, 7, 8 and the 9th. And why it is important? National education policy identified the skill education is very important. I gave you the overview of three units in the textbook. Then I discussed about how it is useful to the students, what as a students they are learning. And next I came to the pedagogy and assessment, how we have to take and how the assessment can be done. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to detailedly showcase about the content in the textbook. Okay, if it is mandatory, what are all the things are there? If it is optional, what are all the things are there? I'm just going to show the overview. Okay, next. So first chapter unit 1 is agricultural practices, which is mandatory. Next. So if you see agricultural practices, so you have these many chapters. Maybe it can be a soil science, soil health, soil conservation, horticulture, forestry, animal husbandry, livestock, and forest officers. See, you can see when you take agriculture, as I told you, it is related to the a job, related to the career of them. So you can see, children, it is agriculture doesn't mean that working only in the agricultural field. It can be a livestock, you can be a doctor, you can be a veterinary doctor, or you can be a forest officer, you can be a agroforest manager, or you can see how you can use an animal husbandry. You can be a forest services like tree, non-timber products, and it's so many things are there. So that awareness has to be created. They have to think it is not agriculture means only working in it. The related jobs, as I told you, related careers also has to be given an exposure. You can see soil scientist, okay, crop consultant, soil conservationist. There are these kind of jobs are also available. You have to tell them soil health. We know now the AI is testing the soil, what is the pH, and all those things are created using the AI. These are all the things we have to tell children. Even environmentalist, right? Somebody will be an environmentalist also. Okay, go next. So when it comes to practices, it is called as an crop protection, precision making, sustainable farming, natural farming, organic farming. You can say a lot of things to the children. Then aquaculture, inland, marine. Inland means how they have in a pond and all those things. Maybe how in the sea, marine cultures, fisheries, seaweed farming. Now we can tell a lot of proteins they are taking from the seaweed culture. Now all the athletes and all the people are taking only the seaweeds for the protein. You can tell those children, you can connect them with the concept farmer and agronomist scientist, precision farm, agricultural engineering, drone operation, data analyst, soil water conservation scientist, and organic farmer, aquaculturist, seaweed culture, and fisher and farmer. So these are all the outline has been given in a book. So you can have a brainstorming session in a class. You can divide each one. You can give one topic and ask them to talk about that. What is it actually they are doing, and so that the child will come to know about a different type of an option in the agricultural field also, and field and practices. Next. So when the topic has been introduced, it has been given like that. What are the Rabi Graph, Carry Graph, and Zaid? These are all the things maybe in the class 6. You can see in a science start with what climate, in what climatic condition, which month, what grows in different parts of India, and all those things. So we can give an idea about why it is growing, why it is not growing in this month, when will be a heavy rainfall. All those details have been given. Next. As I told you, the topic mapping. Okay, every chapter is having a end to end. I said where to start and where to end. Understand the importance of agricultural practices. Understand the agroclimate relationship. When you are doing an agriculture, which month what can be produced, and all those things. Because I cannot say when it is a rainy month, I can go do whatever the things, the practices, steps and all those things. Set up meteorological observatories. They are giving an example of how can you create a meteorological observatory like rainwater harvesting, wind vane, which they are studying in smaller classes. Even in 4th and 5th, they know about a wind vane and a rain gauge and all those things. They are seeing a small hand-on activity, how a student can create all those things. test and improve a soil quality, a small soil, how as a student can test the quality, test and treat the seed before planting, how you have to test and treat the seed, identify the key process related to agricultural practices, explore vocation related to agriculture. Up to this, it's like agriculture practice. Then in detail, the 7. In that, you have to choose one, right? So explore occasions related to agricultural practices. Identify quality criteria related to agricultural practices. So how the lesson start, how the lesson end. And you have to remember the icon also, right? Whatever the icon I showed you earlier, all those icons also inside the lesson. Okay, next. So after the end to end, they have given something called as a value chain in the agriculture. Go to the earlier one. So what is the value chain here? You can see farming, post harvest, how you're handling, because many a times, no children, you can have a debate after farming how these products are stored, how it has been transferred to the person who is buying it, who is marketing and distribution. You can see 15 to 20 how the percentages are increasing. Back to seed 7 to 105 percentage, and if hybrid, cost of research by scientists 20 to 400 percentage. Then you can see a production. You can see that in a production, processing, and the consumption, how much percentage out of 100 percentage, where all it's getting distributed. If you see the whole India, how much is, for example, a wheat production or a rice production or whatever the production, how it is getting distributed. Post harvesting, handling in land itself, some will go waste. 15 to 20 percentage will go waste. In marketing and distribution, 50 to 20 percentage. And some they keep it for 70 to 105 percentage for the hybrid, maybe the scientists and all those things they may be kept. Consumption, it is only 15 to 10 to 15 percentage. You understand, whatever the production is happening, only 10 to 15 percentage is going for the human consumptions. And the processing also, it is getting wasted. You understand? So the children will understand to value, even I am producing this much, how much it's getting, how much is going for a consumption, how it is going for the other purposes. The child will try to understand. Next. Next, here as I told you, make your own metallurgical lab, build a small metallurgical observatory in your school, like a small rain gauge, dry wet bulb thermometer, a wind vane. Follow steps in the figure. Down they have given a clear instructions to following a step by step in a figure. Using the material also suggested. You can always substitute the material if you wish. It's not necessary the same material you can use. You can use some other material if you feel better. You can use that also. Please consult your teacher or an expert before doing it. The safety, as we told you, safety in a physical thing before they have to use. Next, go next. So here first one is a rain gauge. I'm not use your observatory to track rainfall, temperature, including an average and range of temperature. You can see step by step how you can make a rain gauge. So this also you can have it as an activity. You can also create a weather bulletin board for farmers in your region. So when you're using it, you can use it outside the school. You can have a weather bulletin board also. So analyze data over 3 months. So these data has been taken. So I said use your observatory to track rainfall, temperature, including an average range of temperature and wind direction. You should collect and analyze the data over 3 months. That is the duration of a time you are doing this work. You can also create a weather bulletin board for farmers in your region. This also can be taken. For example, in your class, 4 or 5 groups are there. One of the group can be taken this and do this as a rain gauge and observatory track. Next. Okay, now you see measuring a temperature and humidity. Every step by step it has been given here. Then identifying the direction of a wind vane. Wind vane also they are teaching how to make it. Next. Wind, different directions. Go next. As I told you, once these hands are open, as I told you, portfolio is very, very important. The icon portfolio of this chapters talk about keep a record of data you have collected over a period of time with your DIY metallurgical laboratory and share it with the farmer, gardener, record. So for this particular chapter, for the portfolio, you are going to have a data from the DIY. Okay, then quality, there's a the two key process in ensuring the quality of inputs while working with the plants are detailed in the section below. The first is to ensure quality of soil while the other is to ensure the quality of a seed. So now you understand that the icon, why I'm showing it, this kind of a icon has been given portfolio. This chapter, what you're going to, in the first thing, you're going to have it in the portfolio. Then the quality, what I should remember while doing this particular starting of the project. Okay, next. Process, again you can see here, soil sample collection, how to collect the sample and carry out the sample, divide the sample into four. They say soil, how you can have what testing the soil. Okay, they are also making a small kit, what are the pH paper and all those things, they explained clearly. So I can test the soil, how whether the soil acidic or basic or whatever it is, they can identify from a soil sample. Next. Next is testing for the clay of for the seed. Okay, but then first two things we have seen, one is the soil, another was the seed. So soil, we have seen how we have to take a soil, how we can do divide the soil into four and how we can test the pH and other thing. Then after the soil, then you have to test there's other method to test the soil also, they are given, you have to shake and all those things. The next we are going to the seed. Go next. So here, when you are doing a soil testing, they have given a table also here. So using a table, you can measure whether your soil is acidic or basic. So adding composite and organic matter, adding wood ash, adding thyme or dolomite, all those things they are helping us the action taken while we are testing it. Okay, next. So here, as I told you, safety check has been given important. For safety, follow the steps carefully while performing test. Do not taste chemicals and handle glass container carefully. So when you're doing it, these are all the safety. I'm just showing you an icon so that every chapter have all these icons for the differentiation. Check your understanding. That is very important, as I told you. Which test the child has to answer and have it in the portfolio. Which test did you do? What were the result of the test? What step did you take to improve the quality of a soil? So they have given what to be added, what not to be added to improve the soil and all those things also given there. Okay, next. So next is the seed selection, and the children recall about the seed dormancy, because children know about the seed dormancy. They are studying in class 7 and 8. What is a dormant seed? Because each seed will take some time to grow. What are the conditions for the dormantry? You can explain it as a teacher. Next. So these are all the floating methods. When a seed is floating means that is not a good seed. So these are all the techniques they have been taught. This is also in the class 6 and class 5 onwards there, I think. Science textbook. Next. I'm just tying the textbook because how the NCERT textbook concepts are connected to these vocational courses. Then preparing organic fertilizer, even in class 6, it has been given how to do a compost, how to do a vermicompost and all those things. I told you one more icon is called as a caslet, student making vermicompost. So here a case study has been given. Students of a government high school collect 50 kg of agro waste and 50 kg of, they're giving how they have done. Maybe you can use the same process as an example to do in your school also. Next. So you can see and read, and you can tell your children also to prepare a compost and the vermicompost. Next. Pesticide and all those things. So far we have seen what is there in general agriculture. Then next we are coming to the selection of vocation. So here in the selection of vocation, so task exploring the vacation around you. Maybe as I told you, maybe you can select your own thing, or you can select whatever given in the textbook. Before that, what is that you're going to do? Identify what is the vocational course you're going to do. Will you be able to complete the work in 3 months? You have to identify, okay, I'm selecting this. Will I be able to? The questions are there. Mapping resources to select the vocational course. Whichever vocational course you are selecting, before that, you answer this question. Okay, whether I'm able to complete it in 3 months. Do you have adequate space? Whatever you're thinking of, there is a space for it. There is a provision of all the material is easy for you. All those questions are there. So you can sit as a teacher. You can sit with the students. You can take their interest also. Can we select which vocation can you select? Like that, maybe you can try divide the class and you can give 2 vocational course for them. So whichever is going better, that also can be, credentials can be taken. Being a first year, you can try that also. Next. So as I told you, in a portfolio, which vocation have you chosen and why? That's a question. So first portfolio we have seen the DIY. Next portfolio in the same chapter, we are saying which vocation you have chosen and why. The reason, maybe the child can write and keep. While doing work related to agriculture, here are again the safety precautional measure. Different points have been given. Always handle tools, material, use tools like rain gauge, dry wet bulb, and all those things. The safety measures are also given. Next. So after that, assess your learning. This is very, very important for a teacher. It is not simply we are doing a vocational project. As I told you, it comes at 25% of the board questions will be asked. 25% they have to write a pen and paper. So these are all the questions has to be discussed in the class so that it helps the child to better understanding. The farmer has sandy soil, which a high acidity. Suggest 2 amendments and explain how they will improve the soil quality. So now you have to see that table which they have given. If your soil is too acidic, add this. Like that, one table has been given. So if a child understands that, then only the child can able to answer this. So it's all case based, understanding based questions only. So non-timber forest products refer to all useful products from forest, including resin, medicine plants, fruits, nuts, etc. Lac is an important not so like that you have to understand. Now I'm not going to read all the question. Like so, they have given a case-based question based on the understanding of the concept. What are all the things you are doing in a classroom? So as a teacher, maybe it can be a group work, or you can try to answer these questions in the classroom so that the understanding of a concept will be better. Next. So the next vocation is a small rooftop. Okay, next chapter in the vocational course. First is rooftop gardening. I'm just showing. I'm not going to detail in that so that you are understanding. I'm just showing to understand. It's there in the. I have also taken from Kaushal Vikas book only, so you can go through it because every chapter take maybe a week time for me to. I'm just showing you a sample. The main point I told you what is there. I'm just showing you samples here. I'm not going to detail in this. Next. So again, as I told you, any concept you can take. There is a end-to-end mapping has been given. Next. So process chart, what is the scope of work? As I told you, now you can identify the portfolio. Which plant will you grow? Justify. So portfolio question is there. What rooftop plant we are going to grow? That will be in the portfolio. Next. Technology and agricultural intelligence. You can use 3D modeling of software like computer-aided CAD designing to lay out the rooftop designing. Again, you can see in a portfolio, draw and label a detailed sketch of a layout of your rooftop garden. Give reasons for your decision related to a placement of pots. So if you can see this example. Okay, so a small example has been given where you will keep the ponds, how your rooftop will be. It can be designed using a CAD, or the children can also by hand drawing also they can do and justify. I'll keep the pond here, I'll keep the climber here, I keep the different plants they can plant it, and they can have a small plan for that. Now you relate it. Now this can be related to mathematics. When a teacher is talking about a rooftop garden is having this much square feet of area and all those things, the child is easily able to connect it when a child itself is designing a area of a rooftop gardening. Next. So again, the portfolio, note the details you have worked so far. You can use the template as a table. Plant you are growing, method of sowing, material for potting mix and preparing proposition used. What is that material you're using? Result of pH testing, because everywhere you have to test the pH of the soil. What is that amendment you did it? Okay, next. Assessment I have already discussed. During a site visit, student noticed that one rooftop garden uses grow bags while another uses clay pots. Okay, list one advantage and one disadvantage of each containers. Which one would you recommend for your school rooftop garden? You understand the question? So as I told you, these are all mostly with your what you can say case-based, understanding-based question. So I think once you do all this question, the children also will get a better understanding. Next. So next is a precision making. Next. So I just want to give you an introduction of what is precision making. Precision making, use of science and technology to improve the agriculture yield. Okay, so now your soil is having a lot of pH. How to alter? Like that, the precision means exactly as required, consistent, that same every time. I want this exactly, this form should be like this so that I can grow the product, end product like this. Precision farming, especially a useful, a small nurseries, since the space and resources are limited, using techniques like drip irrigation and sensor and making data-based decision. You can serve water to avoid wastage, reduce excess use of fertilizers, fertilizer. So it may be like a greenhouse or a small rooftop. All those things. So how are you going to alter the soil? How are you going to give water to the soil? Drip irrigation. So all those things are called as a precision making. The precision farming. Precision farming is related to the agriculture only. But only thing is, it can be used in a smaller area to how to alter and design the thing, whatever you wanted to design in the particular agriculture. Next. So again, you have a end-to-end planning where you start and where you end. Next. Comparison of traditional and precision farming. They have given why you have to use the precision farming, like you are doing alteration in a normal traditional main, there is no, you don't have a control over the climate, but here you can say that what are the thing I can do so that even if it is rain, how I'm going to control that. Okay, you can go through it. Next. Again, portfolio, where will you use precision techniques? Is a farmer field or in a school? Next. So technology and artificial intelligence to record temperature and humidity inside the humidity chamber. You can build a GYI weather monitor, which simply we can see the weather monitor earlier. You can create your own weather monitor. Then next is a task. You may have prepared a plant seedling by using a plug or a seedling tray and a stem cutting method. The other methods where it's referring, you can see Kaushal both, grade 7, because when it comes to stem cutting, the stem cutting is dealt in class 7. So you can refer means you can go get that how the stem cutting is done because as I told you, it's just lower level, it is little bit advanced level. So whenever it is necessary, they're referring the Kaushal both also so that they can go and refer in it. Okay, next. So task, what are the tasks as a child they have to understand, and they can use an app to identify all those things. Next. So additional of mushroom cultivation, aquaponics, physiculture, I have told you additional, okay, anything you can take it up. Next. Backyard poultry, non-timber forest product. I have also told you what are all the honey, medicinal plants, resins, gums. You can have a medicinal plant, agriculture, a small land in your school where you can cultivate the medicinal plants. You can do that. Next. So now it is the unit 2 with the machines and the materials. Next. So here also you can see shaping and material. For shaping, you can use a carpentry or pottery, construction, material processing. Then if it is a processing materials, if you are textiles, plumbing, all those, these are all the, as I told you, these are all the where you can introduce these things and talk about this so that the child can choose a kind of a career they can think about in the future. Next. Shaping material as a chapter. Next. I go a little fast because you now if I show a slide itself, you can identify shaping and material. As I told you, end to end, where it start and where to end. The mapping has been given. Next. Process material, how example has been given. How you can use a pencil to draw a pattern, material. So all those things have been given as an example. Technical drawing, all those things. Next. Transform into a product. Now you can see a plumbing, construction, safety, wear, protection, gear and follow safety rules. So everything example has been, whether it's a plumbing means how you draw a layout for the plumbing. In a construction where you, how you want the pipes to go, that's a plumbing, right? How the diagram should have, where you are going to, how you cut it, how you join it, all those things have been given. Next. Task has been given for the children. Next. So selection of materials based on the character. Now if I'm selecting something, so how I'm going to best suit material for the product, steel, copper, glass, aluminum. Like for example, I want to do a raincoat. What kind of a material I can use it? If I'm going to electric wire, what material I have to use it for the understanding. Next. Again, task, precautions to be taken while measuring the materials, applications, measuring instrument. What instrument I use it? What is the smallest unit? What is the precaution? I do it. Next. So when it comes to drawing also they have given different lines, how to start the drawing, how to draw a hollow cylinder. This is definitely, according to me, it is going to help the children very well, because when it comes to the application part of whether it is science or mathematics, they are not able to understand or apply when they are doing these kind of problems in the science and mathematics. I think definitely it's going to give a lot of understanding when they do a drawing on their own. Okay. Next, they are given an icon of how to do a civil drawing also. Next. This is again aptitude, reasoning, design thinking, what is the front view, top view and side view, all those things. When a child sit and draw it, they really, for example, if a teacher say that this is the area of a land, this is the length, this is the breadth, that child is able to do the sum easily. But the same has been given in the top view or side view, the child is finding it difficult to measure it. So these things I think definitely give an insight to our students. Next. These are all the examples for electrical circuit, plumbing designs and technical drawing. This normal design and technical drawing, all those things are also given to the children. Some samples of technical 3D designs, because they can take it to the, now AI is there, they can go to the all the drawing using computers, they can go draw. That's why 3D is also given. Next. Again, in that unit 2, selection of vocation. Go next. Assessment. Next. Go next. I'm not going to retype. So the examples are construction. Next. In a construction, end-to-end plan, where to start and end. Next. Then in a portfolio, what should be in the portfolio? Next. Then technical and technology and artificial integration of that particular concept. Next. Assessment. Next. So next is apparel. Okay, next topic is apparel. Next. End-to-end planning. Next. Technology integration and the portfolio. Next. Assess your learning. I hope you're all coming along with me now. When I show assess, I hope you are understanding what I'm trying to say here. I just need a thumbs up here so that I can go further. Next. Additional vocational course. It's maybe a steel metal work. It can be a plumbing. It can be a food processing. Anything. Next. Furniture design, furniture making, and the pottery. Next. These are all the additional in the unit 2. Next. Now unit 3. Unit 3 is work in human services. Go next. So in that you can see personal and lifestyle services, healthcare, social work, hospitality, banking, finance, communication. You can ask the children to explore, and you can have a brainstorming session in this. Next. So personal and lifestyle services. Next. So it is an end-to-end planning for the personal. Next. So you know what is the task has to be done, and then the portfolio is there. Next. Then one more task has been given. Go next. Task. Go next. Technology and artificial intelligence. How you can add to the services. Go next. A task and a portfolio. Go next. Assessment of your learning. Go next. The next is in healthcare is a subtopic. Go next. Then again end-to-end of the process. Technology and AI integration. Go next. Portfolio. Next. Task. Go next. Go next. Portfolio. A lot of portfolio has been given here in the healthcare. Go next. Assessment. As you all are there. Go next. Then next is the tourism. In that, tourism is another choice. Next. Then end-to-end given. Next. Portfolio. A lot of portfolio because it's just a tourism part. Go next. Task. Portfolio. Next. Portfolio and task. Go next. Then assessment. Go next. Additional vocational courses in that. Hospitality, database services. Go next. Interior design, event management. Go next. Public information system. You can see the keywords that also will give us an idea how to go about it. Next. So we have seen 3 forms in the Kaushal Vikas. I have detailedly explained what is the book actually, how it is connecting with the NEP, and what as a takeaway for a student, what is a pedagogy, and what is an assessment. And I have detailedly showed you every chapter, what it contains, what is a key icon it is contained, how to go about it. And I also told you who can handle these particular concepts. Any teacher can handle. It is not, there's no debate like only this teacher can handle and that and all those things. Who are able to read and understand the book can handle this. And if it is a special person, for example, pottery, you can bring a person from outside. You can do that, but you need a specialized person. You can select one topic in everything. Maybe it is maybe a rooftop designing, maybe a school gardener also can help you in the rooftop designing in agriculture. So take a small step, take a small simple things So that being a first year, you can understand that. Maybe after that, you can add on to the next better things. So being a first year, take a smaller thing. And it's very importantly, every chapter you can see how it is connecting to the concept which you are learning in the lesson in the as an NCRT textbook. So if you deal it better, the understanding will be better in the competencies of the students. So thank you so much for the opportunity. If any question, can take it up.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ms. Richa wants to know that if we can send the students for internship, like as a receptionist in the bank or clinic or any anyone, a human being in any other school. Richa ma'am, you can raise your hand and can unmute yourself and can ask a question directly. There's one more question by Ms. Ashwarya that she wants to know if we can have the time frame to complete each module month-wise. I hope, ma'am, you have attended the complete session.
Hello, ma'am, am I audible?
Yeah, very
Yes,
well.
you are audible. Am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to know since this webinar, first of all, I found it very productive and very helpful regarding since CBSE has introduced such skill-based courses and practical mode of learning more than the theoretical one. So it is, or we can say side by side to the theoretical one. I just wanted to ask if we can have some internship programs also for those children who have good spoken skills, communication skills. Can they be sent for a day or a two or for an hour or a two to the respective in the respective areas where some professionals are taking up their private jobs like a clinic or a hospital or a company so that they can showcase their skills and can learn something more. If this can be taken up as a step of practical learning, if the school can take it for higher sections, that means for classes 9th and 10th, 11th or 12th, something like that.
Ma'am, you can do that. For example, if you take a healthcare services, you may be having a hospital nearby. You are starting with the healthcare condition introduction and all those things. For the, direct exposure, maybe if you have a talk to the particular hospital, you can send the children, get a undertaking from the parents, and you can send whoever is good, go help the doctor every day. Maybe, as she said, maybe in the reception desk, how the patients are coming, how they are registering, how the different thing. You can definitely do that, like any other sector for that matter. Maybe even going and sitting in a small shop, how this he's taking care of the vendor, how he is billing, and all those things is also a good exposure to the student. Definitely can be
Okay.
taken.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Kamalji, you can ask your question. Mr. Gaurav, you can ask your question. You are unmuted now.
So someone asked about the time frame. The time frame is if you have a three project. So if you keep 2 months, 2 months, 2 months, 6 months, you take it 2 months for everything. If you take so 6 months, by 6 months you can complete. Sometimes if you go beyond also 7 months, you have a timeline. Don't keep 3 months because our total working year, if you say not beyond the 10 months, so keep it 2 months. In the book it has been given 3 months, but you keep it as a 2 months as a project, then you can easily complete all the three. But if it is time exceed, maybe because of the school function, because of the climatic conditions and all those things, 1 more month we can extend so that easily we can complete the project.
Yes. Thank you so much. Shushma ji, if you want, you can unmute and can ask your question. Though I have received one question from Suparna ji. The Kaushal Vikas curriculum promotes internship. Suppose a student proposes an innovative business idea that fails during implementation. So, Shall the teachers reward the originality of his idea or the success of the outcome because it has failed? So, how should a competency based assessment address such situations?
No, see, first when it comes to the Kushal Vikas or a Kushal both, it is not an individual project based. It is not like I am doing something. For example, some child maybe create something. Maybe the child can create a chatbot, a child can create an app or something that is individual. Okay, but that individual things are failed. Maybe they can take it to the whoever is doing a pattern. The child has to go to the next level. Then he has to identify what failed, how to fix the failure, and all those things. That is the individual part of it. That does not come along with the Kushal Vikas or Kushal Board. Here, these are all the things. It is only for a vocational thing. It's not related to individually what I am doing, what I am creating. That is different, and this is different. That understanding teacher should have.
Yeah, thank you so much. There's one that earlier the SUPW we used to conduct those lectures in school. So I'm finding it's pretty much similar to it, but this is more structured, Kaushal Vikas. So my question is, so those activities also we can conduct in Kaushal Vikas as an additional ones.
No, it's very clearly given. There's no additional one. First, if you're taking, for example, pottery, okay. If you're taking a pottery, I told you, you can call an expert to teach the pottery, or you can take the children to an industrial visit, or you can take children to work in work in the sense, take an internship in an industrial visit or 1 or 2 days, something they can work, and you can call the expert to speak about it. All are there in the textbook. All you can do. You are selecting a concept, you are calling the expert in the sense who is going to teach pedagogy and all those things. Next, you can call the expert which is in the next level. Maybe you are making a small part. I said only in a factory how they are making a part. You can ask the same factory whether my children can come and see and do along with that 1 or 2 days. Can you give a chance? So all those things are well placed in that. So you can take it up. There's nothing wrong in it. And you can have an interview, as I told you. You can make a podcast. You can have a YouTube channel where you can do all those things. You can showcase in that. So you're doing something that children are doing. You are making an evidence for it. You can do that.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. And Ms. Raza wants to know that how to implement this in a boarding school. She is in a boarding school.
Very, very easy than a day school. Because in a day school only, children will come and go evening. But if you take a boarding school, you can very well fix in your timetable. Maybe even in one of the activities, a Kushal both activity. So the children can go and do that, and you can very well complete it on time, I think.
There's one more question last I will take up, that from next year students should take both skill education like AI or ICT paper and also vocation education. So any one of them they can take or both?
See, it depends. See, now Kushal Vikas is compulsory. We have to take it. Earlier, we were doing a vocational subject like IT, artificial intelligence, all those things we were taking. Now, we also have a compulsory paper of CT and AI. Okay. See, when you take a vocational subject like Kushal Vikas or CTAI, which is not going to replace your subject, which is going to fail. Only vocational subjects will replace it. So, you as the school, you can already CT and AI is there. You can take AI as an additional vocational subject, which can replace any of the subject failed. Maybe a science or mathematics which I failed. Your vocational course only replace. So again, it's a call from the school. I don't want to take vocational course because already 2 more subject has been added. No need to take. If you feel that no, I have a low level children, some children may fail in maths and science. Safe side, I want to take a vocational course. You can take an AI because already you are doing that CT and AI. AI will help it. So you take an easier subject where it can get along with your, inside infrastructure. Don't take one additional texture. I want to take horticulture. Don't go beyond that. Beautician course, which is not suit into the curriculum. Take some vocational course which is easy, which will come inside your curriculum.
Yes, thank you so much. And to all of you, as you are writing to us, you will be getting the recording of this session in your registered email, and the certificate also after 3 days you will get in your registered email after 3 days. So,
So one
we
more
are,
question,
yeah,
one more
yes,
question
ma'am.
is that, can student choose more than one skill subject? How does the children can take n number of skill subject? What I mean, you can take three skill subject, four subject, no problem. But it depends upon the school whether do you have that teacher to teach the subject. Do you have a time to complete it? Is very important. If it is a boarding school, I recommend that you can choose more things because you got a time. You can work with the children. You can do that. So it depends upon the school. There's no limit like you should take one only, two only. It is not like that. You can take any number of. It will not affect if children are smarter. For example, if you see that 10 children in your classroom very smart in that particular thing, I wanted to give them extra. You can give only for that 10 children. Not necessarily you should give it for everyone. Also, you can choose whom you wanted to give this particular thing. Also, you can select and give it to them. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Um, can we conclude, ma'am?
Yeah. There's no more question. I think we can conclude.
Yes, I cannot see any more question. And the feedback form we do not circulate. We will be sending you the thank you, mail today itself later. So you can reply on that. So as we conclude now, it has been an absolute privilege to learn from you today also, Sudhama, and your guidance, your experience have provided us with valuable takeaways today. And thank you all the participants for investing your valuable time in learning with us. We look forward to welcoming you in another enriching session soon. So until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep inspiring. Have a wonderful good evening. Thank you so
Thank
much.
thank you. Thank you.